Bamboo Project Podcast starts in 3, 2.
Welcome to the Bamboo Project Podcast. The people with the most freedom in this world have money and lots of it. So I decided I'm going to become a billionaire. And on the way there, I'm going to help create 1,000 millionaires, including myself. And not by being a guru or selling a course, but by doing the things I already love to do every day and documenting the journey to get there. I figure I'll make all the mistakes so you don't have to. My name is Donivan Gray, and this is how I would turn my life into a living. I'd like to start off by giving a shout out to all the people rocking with us and supporting the channel. We really appreciate you. We are currently streaming on all major streaming platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor. You name it, we on it. And if we not on it, we about to be on it. For everyone listening to this podcast and not watching it, you can find us on YouTube at The Bamboo Project. We have over 400 videos on our channel. You want to learn real estate? We got that. You want cooking tutorials inspired by Dr.Sebi? We got that. Travel and lifestyle vlogs? Got it. You want makeup and hair growth tutorials? Got it. Basketball? Got it. It's everything us. All the parts of the journey that do not make it to YouTube will be on our story. You can find me on Instagram at Donivan Gray, DONIVANGRAY, and my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend, Anita Byrne, ANETABURN. The Bamboo Project is about turning your life into a living by making money off the things you already do every day. We made a playlist for all the things we are into, and you can find all of those links in the description box below. This may be your first time here, and if it is, welcome to the family. But for everyone else, this is chapter 2, page 90. All right. The podcast has 4 different segments. We have the life update, episode playback, Donivan's questions, and the topic of the day. All video and audio timestamps will be in the description box below. Today's date is December 6th, 4:47 p.m. So for y'all who don't know, it's shooting on a Monday. I'm gonna come back to that later. We are also shooting kind of late, which is like, I don't feel tired, so I guess that's a good thing. But it is later in the day than we would like to. I'll probably get into that later also. So you already know the first topic is the first segment is the topics of the day, but it's not actually that life update. Before that though, we always start with the screen time. And listen, I be watching the statistics. I be watching the stats. I be skipping the screen time. All right, keep playing. And when you're addicted to your phone and you can't put it down, you're going to know why. It's because you're always watching the screen time. So for those who watch the screen time, who are trying to be avid social media, what's the word for that? Fasters? People who are trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? I need a word for that. What's the word? Cut down on your phone habits. Okay. This is for y'all. Everybody else who's going to skip past, y'all going to be addicted. So for all my responsible listeners, let's see what the screen time was for last week. You know, my screen time, I feel like it's going to be a lot higher. I put on the restriction thing, right? However, I don't know how much I feel like it kind of makes things worse. And I'm going to explain that in a second, right? So last week, my average screen time for the week was 7 hours and 7 minutes. That was my average screen time. Okay. Honestly, the week before that, what was it? That went down like 20 minutes. That's not bad. Okay. All right. Okay. 20 minutes. And I was driving for dollars. So that's gonna make it go up higher. Now, my lowest day was Tuesday, which was 6 hours and 23 minutes. And my highest day is Sunday, which was 9 hours and 37 minutes. I've noticed a trend that my highest day on social media is Sunday. I'm not sure what causes that, but I've definitely noticed that. I spent 10 hours on my phone that day, 2 hours on Google Maps, 2 hours on Instagram, and then about an hour and a half on Safari. My first used app after pickup for the whole entire week was my mail app. That's interesting. Wow, look at me being an adult. So for the whole entire week, my first used app after pickup was mail, then messages, then YouTube Studio, and then YouTube. Instagram is not in the top. I am proud of myself for that. Wow, that's crazy. It's not even, that's crazy. That's crazy. My daily pickups each day was 62, which I believe was a lot lower than last week, which was 78. So I was going to say that I feel like the little notification thing is not working. The reason why I feel like that is every time it comes up, I always just press 15 more minutes, right? And I'm like, I could be on my phone for 30 minutes. I'll press 15 more minutes. Then I'll press it again. Then I'll press it again. Then I'll press it again. So it's like, am I really utilizing this properly? I can't say for sure, but maybe it's working. Now, one of the things that I believe, right? I feel as though when it comes to having that little restriction pop up, I think that I was gonna say I feel like it makes me use the sites more, but I don't know if that's true because it's kind of annoying. But it's getting to a point where I'm just like, I don't even want to, I just ignore for the whole day. But I started that today and yesterday, so we're gonna see. But so far, I'm only on my phone for 5 hours the last 2 days. I don't know. We're gonna see. So maybe this work. I'm gonna leave it on there. So now to my beautiful, phenomenal, amazing girlfriend, my fine ass woman. What was your what was your average screen time for the day, for the week?
Screen time for the week was 6 hours and 15 minutes.
Okay, that's pretty good.
And my lowest day was 3 hours and 52 minutes.
What day was that?
Thursday.
You went somewhere?
I don't know. I don't think so.
That was Thanksgiving. Was it? No. Was it? No.
December 2nd. I don't know what Thursday was, but that was my lowest day. Yeah.
I feel like you went somewhere that day. You went out with somebody. No, oh, that's when Diamond came over.
Oh.
So.
See, in-person interactions.
Yes. No metaverse shit over here.
And then, funny enough, my highest day is the next day. It's Friday, but for 10 hours and 50 minutes.
But I thought you were going to say 14. 10 hours is high. And Friday, did you go out? Don't you drive? It's probably the Google Maps, right?
6 hours.
Oh, Google Maps?
Yeah.
Damn, that's a lot.
Yeah,
all right.
I was outside.
Oh, you was outside. You was outside.
So my most used app was Google Maps for the week for 11 hours and 30 minutes. After that was Instagram for 7 hours. Well, pretty much 8 hours. And then TikTok for 6 hours. It just, I don't like those numbers. But at the same time, some of it is work related because I'm making content and I have to be on Facebook and blah, blah, blah.
And I always say, they get you on both ends. They get you as somebody that's posting and somebody that is consuming. That's the gas they don't tell you about social media. But okay.
And then my average pickups was 125. Most pickups was Wednesday 179.
The average is 125?
Yeah,
that's high.
Pickups is 873. 93 of those was messages. 85 was Google Maps. 65 was Gmail.
You know what's funny about that?
Okay.
Nobody texts me. So I'm like, if you get more text than I do throughout the week, so you're gonna pick up your phone if you get a text. I don't get no text. So I'm like, who am I picking up my phone for? So I'm like, why? I'm like, why do you have so many pickups, but your average is low? But that's because you probably pick it up, respond to a text, put it down, pick it up, read a text, put it down. I pick up my phone to probably go on social media and be like, all right.
But since I pick it up, read it, don't respond, gotta pick it up.
Right, again, facts. So.
Oh, that's pretty much
okay.
It. Yeah, that's my stats.
So, all right, guys. If y'all were here last week, I told y'all what the title might be. Okay, so you already seen the title. You already saw it. All right. Donivan Gray. Donivan Niles. Another name I'm not going to say, Gray. Okay. I have passed my real estate test. Now, I know y'all all clapping like, woo, yeah. I know you are. I know because y'all been here for all of the bullshit. Right. But it's finally done. So, I failed the state exam last week on Tuesday, right? And I passed the national. Thank God I passed the national because that one was 90 questions and the state was 45 questions. I was determined to pass that test again. I did not care what happened. I was like, I am going to pass this test before the next podcast. So, I scheduled the exam for 6:30 in the morning, like that Thursday. So December 2nd, I'm like, yo, I don't care what, nothing is happening. December 2nd, I'm taking my exam. And the reason I wanted to take it in the morning, you already know, I feel like I operate better in the morning. And I don't even think they had another time after Thursday to take it, like another time in the day. I would have had to wait until Friday. I was not trying to do that. So 6:30 in the morning. Now, the crazy part about all of that is that I'm not supposed to, I believe, be in a room with other people. So I had to wake up my beautiful woman over here and say, hey babe, can you go in the bathroom again and just stay in there till I finish it. Mind you, because my test is at 6:30, I have to be there an hour earlier. So we talking about 5:30 in the morning. She was getting up to go over there. I was fake studying, if you want to even call it that, more or less drinking water. And probably, you know, if you even look, I looked at like 2 different sentences about real estate. So I guess you can call that studying. But I passed my test. I had to get 30 questions right. I got out of 40, I got 32 questions right because I'm a motherfucking beast. You know, that's like an 80%. So what am I, like, amazing? So I got that and I passed. And I was just like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I'm actually I'm actually a realtor now. Like, I'm a licensed agent. Technically, I gotta get to the specifics of it, but I'm like, and here's the thing about me, right? I'm amazing, right? I say this all the time. I'm phenomenal, right? I know in my soul I'm an amazing individual. Now, here's the other thing about it. People like myself who are so amazing, other people know I'm amazing. They know it in their soul, right? It burns in their soul that I'm amazing. But I don't have no credentials, right? I don't have no credentials that show how amazing I am. So then they could say, well, yeah, he did that thing or he did that thing, but you know, he ain't go to college, he ain't have a job, he ain't get the certification. Okay, fine. I'm the same person before as I am now, but there are certain people that want to look at the credentials as opposed to the person, which is fine. I understand. So for those people out there, because at some point you do need credentials to some degree, I have my license. So I am signed up with eXp Realty, right? I technically am not licensed yet. They like doing the process of it, so I should probably get my license sometime this week. But here's the thing. The reason I decided to go with eXp Realty was because they're virtual. And I didn't want to have to deal with having to go into the office because I got my license in Philadelphia or Pennsylvania, because that is where we bought our first property and that's what I was originally wholesaling at. So I figured the best place to get it was there. The main reason, for those who do not know, why I wanted to even get my license was because I was trying to wholesale property. Those who do not know what that means, wholesaling property is I get a property under contract in my name, and then I find somebody else who wants to buy that property and I sell them that contract for higher than I got it under contract for. That's pretty much all it is. Now, one of the nuances of that is being able to know if a property is a good property for an investment. One of the best places to find that out is the MLS. The only people who have legitimate access to that are realtors, brokers, you know, somebody like I think like construction builder or something like that. Like they kind of get access to, but agents have access to that. That tells you all the stats of all the properties that sold publicly in the last 100 million years. So I wanted to get that. I want to be able to know the inside information that other people cannot see. So that was the main reason why I got it. So I wanted to get eXp Realty. And because they don't have an actual office, because I'm here, I can still sign up for them and do it virtually from here. And, you know, it'd be in Pennsylvania. Now, when they say it's going to be a virtual brokerage, I'm assuming like, you know, all the transactions will be on the internet. I could just sign a paper, send it in to somebody. They handle all the other stuff, right? I don't actually have to go to the office. That was what I was thinking. Bro, when I tell you that they more or less have a metaverse for their brokerage, I was blown. I'm like, what is this? I'm on the phone with the lady, right? I'm doing my like onboarding orientation thing. So she called me and is talking, you know, nice lady, so on and so forth. And she's like, yeah, you know, once you get into the EXP world, you can meet a lot of other agents and you can meet the brokers and things like that. So obviously I'm thinking, yeah, once I get into the EXP world, I would just, you know, I'm a realtor world, the real estate world. I can just talk to and, you know, network with other people. So as she's talking, she's like, yeah, you know, okay, so once you get the EXP world, then now here's the thing, right? She said, once you get to the EXP world, I'm like, get to? Like, what is, I'm like, all right, whatever. Then she said, you're going to have to make an avatar. And I'm like, an avatar? So my mind is still confused. I'm like, okay, maybe I have to like make a profile. Maybe she may make a profile like, you know, LinkedIn or Facebook or any other social media site. I'm thinking something like that. She's like, yeah, you know, you could design your hair and your shoes and your pants. I'm like, wait, when you say avatar, you mean like somebody walking around like that? She's like, yeah. So now I'm completely confused. Like, Miss, what are you talking about? She's like, okay, you have to go and download the EXP like app on the computer. Bro, I download it. There I am, designing my face, my eyes, my hair, my skin, my shoes, my shirt, pants, watch, everything, right? So I'm kind of still confused. Like, okay, I don't know. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this. Like, okay, I made this person. Is it going to be like, okay, now when I talk to somebody, they'll see my face? I pressed next. Bro, there's a whole universe. Looks like a whole... They got buildings. There's people walking around. They got mall. I don't think they have malls. They have like seating areas and stuff. I'm like, what is this? Like, this is not what I thought I was gonna deal with when I saw when I heard of like a brokerage. I was not thinking of virtual like this. So y'all already know how I feel about the metaverse anyway. So I'm already off. Like, okay, this is kind of. I was not expecting this at all. So she's still talking to me while I'm kind of like looking around and stuff. She's like, yeah. So whenever you want to meet a broker, you know, have a meeting with them, you just go walk to their office, you know, more or less knock on their door and go inside. I'm like, miss. I'm like, I'm just like, hold on. She's like, you could play basketball in there if you want to. I'm like, I could play basketball as an agent or a realtor in this metaverse world or whatever. She's like, yeah, you know, mind you, there are other people just walking around. If you all don't know, right? Because people may be old listening to this, people who are younger, it's literally 2K or Grand Theft Auto. Like, it's the equivalent of that. So just imagine if you were playing Grand Theft Auto, but on the other end, it was like your job. Like, your job was Grand Theft Auto. You get a contract, you literally bring it to somebody, and you get paid actual money from that. Like, that's what's happening. So, like I said, you can play basketball, talk to people, whatever. So that day, I didn't really actually use it too much. However, today, I had to try to figure out how to, you know, move forward in the process of getting my license. So I kind of had to get a little bit more into it. So as I'm walking around, I start hearing voices from my computer, right? And they aren't like animated voices. These are real people talking. So I'm kind of like, okay. And as I'm walking, the voices are getting lower. So I'm like, wait, did I hear somebody talking? Like, what was that? So I start backing my avatar up and I start hearing the voice get louder. I'm like, okay, what is happening here? Like, what is going on? So I turn around, you know, my avatar, and there's a woman sitting at a desk or like a convenience stand, and there's another woman on the other side of the convenience stand talking to her, right? I'm like, mind you, me and my avatar both looking at this like, what is this? So we just standing there, right? And I'm just like baffled because I'm like, okay, how does it work? Do I like press a button? Do I text the stuff and it comes out? Like, what happens? So mind you, the woman walks off. So I just kind of scoot over there, right? I walk by, I hear, hey, hello, you need anything? So I'm looking around like, is she talking to me? Because I don't know who she's talking to. So I kind of just start spinning my avatar around, looking around. And so I go up to her, it's like a button that says, you know, press if you want to sit down or something. So I'm just like, all right, so I'll sit down. She's like, oh, hey, well, how can I help you? It's a person on the other end who's actually, I guess their avatar is at work and they're talking to me. Now, the craziest thing about all of this is that person sitting there at their house all day on the computer waiting for agents to pull up and ask them questions? Because that's kind of crazy. Like, that would be a wild job to have. But if you being honest, you want to know what's crazy about that? That is the same thing an assistant would do, just at home. Yeah. So technically, if you at your house and you say, listen, just sit by your computer all day and just, if somebody come up to you, just talk to them and, you know, whatever. So that's crazy. But while I was there, I had to go and talk to a broker. So I did this little like, it said press go to, and then you put the place you're going to, and it teleported me to another part of the EXP world. So as I'm in there, they're like, okay, walk over to that spot, like you're in the DMV. It says grab a ticket. So I grab a ticket, and I'm standing there like, yo, this is crazy. There's a lady, there's a booth. It looks like the Apple store. There's like seats set up, people just sitting down. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I feel like an old person. Like, this is insane. So as I'm sitting there, I just disappear again. And now I'm sitting at a desk. A woman is talking to me, and I'm just like, hello? She's like, yeah, how can I help you? And it's a regular person. It's not a like an automated voice that you hear on like Google Voice. It's a person that's talking. So I just thought that was crazy. Now, recently, I was talking about this with Melissa, right? A lot of our videos started really I mean, started popping off because of real estate, obviously. But we have one video where we went to Atlanta to try and get our first Airbnb. And in that video, we were going to like places that have corporate leases and things like that. Because of that video, a lot of people have hit us up about corporate leases in Atlanta. Like, hey, where'd you go? Where can I do Airbnb? How did you guys do it? If I had to guess, let me ask you first, what do you think? Percentage wise, how many do you think are women and how many do you think are men?
For Airbnb?
Yeah.
Like 80.
80. I think it's like 95 women, 5% men. Like I rarely get men asking about the Airbnb situation in that video. So this is another side note. I did a video about Turo yesterday in Atlanta, and most of the hosts are women. That's crazy because I don't really see women as being into cars or doing Turo, but in every other video I've done, it's been majority men. In Atlanta, it was majority women, like 85-90% women. It was crazy. The reason I bring this up is because I was thinking about my license. Now I have something, or I have, you can call it a reciprocal license. Certain states allow you to transfer your license to other states. A reciprocal state for Pennsylvania is New York and Georgia. So what I was thinking about doing, right? Here's the play. I could be the realtor that finds these Airbnbs for other people. Because if you go into Airbnb groups, if you go into the Facebook groups, if you go on Instagram and stuff, everybody says, find a realtor that you can work with, right? And I'm like, wait a minute. We already have an outlet to people who want to find a property. And if I could find them a property, I have in our inbox, we probably have like 40, probably not, it's probably more than 40. It's got to be like 70 people. I don't even know. It's a lot, probably close to 100, if not more, to be honest with you, of people that have asked for the corporate leases. And I'm like, if I can get all of y'all a lease at an Airbnb, we're talking about the 80, 100 plus places, right? I believe when you do a rental, you get 1 month's rent as your commission. So I'm thinking, okay, I might have to run that play. Also, I will be able to know what the best places are for Airbnb because I'll be the realtor. So Melissa and I could just slide in there, and we could also have our stuff in there because we already have the business set up. We have business credit. We have income. We have bank statements that have looked amazing because y'all know we've been capitalizing the business. So that looks phenomenal. Our credit is good. I got personal credit. So I'm like, yo, we could really, and honestly, it was crazy. You know what's crazy about this too? This is only 1 year from the last time we was out there. And I'm like, I feel like we're going back there a whole different like beast from what we were last year. Like we going back out there with our own house, with a car. We got multiple businesses making money. Like we have strong bank statements. Huh? No. We went out there in like January or February. So we going out there with like stuff. Like we killing them out there. Like we going back out there built different. So like I said, I was just thinking about that. Like, we really run that play crazy. So that's it for the real estate licensing era. It's succeeded. Melissa has her appraisal. I have my real estate one. We going up. Like I said, y'all know the vibes. We going up all year. The year about to end. We're trying to see what else we could pull off this year. I don't know. But I feel like we ended the year in a good note. We had a lot of crazy ups and downs. I'm wondering if we make a video like that, like about all stuff we went through.
For the year?
Yeah, I don't know if I want to sit through all that to find it, but I definitely think like we did like a YouTube rewind of like, that would be fire. Yeah. That would be fire. A Bamboo Project rewind of all the nonsense we went through. Because I'm like, we have the house we had to buy, the Airbnb we got kicked out of, the one in Atlanta that we never got. We have the car crashing. We have when you almost got scammed trying to do the PA work. Like my aunt telling me not to be able to do the thing. There's so many crazy ups and downs that we've had this whole year. Like even with getting loans, losing unemployment, like I thought the world was gonna end, bruh. And here we are. We still out here. You cannot knock us down. The Bamboo Project, we get into it. And like I said, right now we have a good foundation. Like next year, I don't know what's going to happen. But I think it's going to be a fun ride next year. I think next year going to be different. Like it's going to be different. So one of the things for next year is wholesaling. I think personally it's going to be a very big wholesaling year for myself. I am finessing a lot of things right now. So I put on my Instagram the other day, if anybody wants to partner with me to do some cold calling, hit me up. So I'm doing a 20% commission on any deal that somebody else cold calls on, and the person decides they want to sell their house. Now, I was doing a weekly amount that I was paying, but I don't have that money now, so I'm doing completely 20% commission. And when I start making more deals, then I'll start being able to pay you a weekly amount plus commission. But right now, strictly commission. So anybody who's out there who has free time throughout the week, you want to make some calls, you got the YouTube video, you got me, you got the email, everything. So just let y'all know we get into it. So the reason why I decided to go this route is because before, as y'all know, I've tried Fiverr multiple times, right? Now with Fiverr, I thought the person I was using was here, but I believe they were in Jamaica, which I was not a fan of. I wanted them to be here. And they also don't use software that allows me to record their conversation. So I don't know if they're reading the script. I don't know if they're doing what I asked them to do. So as I read the notes, I realized they were not actually doing what I asked them to do, because they were giving responses like, I'm trying to think of a response they would get. They would give me responses as if their first question was, do you want to sell a house? Are you selling your house? And that is not how you start off a conversation if you're trying to, if you're cold calling somebody about real estate. Trust me, I know. That's how I started. I have videos on the channel of me calling up people and being like, hey, you selling your house? Can I buy? And I'm not mad at y'all, because like I said, I've been there. I know what it is. But now the people that I put on my Instagram, I've been talking to, I have more of a relationship with them, so we can kind of get on the phone and talk, and it's not much of a language barrier because they're here. So it's a lot easier to talk to. Still, there's a learning curve. Some people know about real estate, others don't. It doesn't really bother me as long as people are willing to read the script and kind of learn the process of what works and what doesn't work. So listen, I'm excited. So I'm also thinking about hiring VAs. Shout out to I talked to Melissa. So Melissa Rios from, I think she's in Pennsylvania. I don't know if she's in Pittsburgh or what part of Pennsylvania, but I think it's in the east. I don't know exactly. But she told me I should use Savvy Leads, and I tried to use them. So I'm talking to you if you're listening. I went on their site, and I do most of my properties. I do like driving for dollars. So I try and do like 100 to like 120 a day. And they said that I have to have a minimum of 500 a day. So to be able to call, I think that works if I was pulling lists, but I don't actually pull lists for it. So I kind of just do the driving for dollars. Once I have more money, I'll definitely pull lists. So I'm trying to find virtual assistants that can help me with that. And I think I was talking to Emilio about that. Shout out to him. He was telling me to like look up VAs and whatnot. And I found some good VAs. And I found VAs that do video editing, they do social media posting, and they do cold calling. If we get all of those things outsourced, those are the things that hold us up the most. Editing a video takes like 2 hours, depending on the video, if not more. Depending if I'm not tired, it might take longer. I think I just put out like 9 Turo videos. If not, I think it's like 9. Let me check how many Turo videos I just put out. I feel like it's 9 Turo videos. I put up 6, and I just recorded probably like another 5 or 6 over the weekend, and I have another 4 to record and edit. I have like another 10 to edit. Like that's gonna be 20 plus hours. Like that's a lot. That takes up a lot of time to do that, and that's if I'm doing it straight, like just back to back. Shoot it, edit, shoot it, edit, shoot it, edit. Then you gotta post it. You gotta put the right hashtags, the right description. You gotta put an end card on there, everything. So it's just kind of like, if I could find somebody to edit those kind of videos, because those videos are not about the creativity of editing. Those videos are more so about showing somebody what we did on how to get our first car. So it's not necessarily our creative input on the editing video. So that's something definitely that I want to start getting into, is hiring more VAs. And I think once I finish all those videos, I'm going like full steam into wholesaling. I'm like back in it. I'm back at it. I'm going 100% hard. We're leaving in 3 months or so from now, about 2-3 months. The house is almost done. So it's kind of like I'm going hard. I don't really have nothing else left to do. I got the license. The Airbnb thing from August is done. Unemployment, we're not worrying about that. We already got the car for Turo set up, so we're not really worrying about that. The YouTube videos is more or less, YouTube is doing fine, so we're not really worried about that. So this is what I got. I got the wholesale back in front of me, and I'm gonna put a picture up or a video Melissa took today. I got all the screens. I got 2 phones. I got 2 iPads. I got the MacBook. I got everything. I'm ready. Send me a property. I'm running numbers in 5 minutes, probably less than that. And I'm having a number for it. I'm having everything. I'm ready. Like, I'm ready to go. We got 2 more weeks. I'm like, can I get a property under contract in 2 weeks? Let's see. Like I said, I think that's if I get all the videos out this week. So on one of these days, probably, I think I'm going to post like every Turo video I have. I'm gonna try and edit all of them and post them all at the same time, and then that's probably gonna be it for a long time with Turo videos as far as like how we just research different cities. We are gonna do like a 3-month update on that, and then also a 3-month update on how much we made on YouTube and what we learned during YouTube and whatnot. So yeah, that's listen, the real estate game, we going up, man. This real estate thing is getting crazy. It's getting crazy. Now, one thing I want to bring up too is in relation to our health. I don't know if it was luck. I don't know if it's true or not. But last year, Melissa and I were like heavy into Dr.Sebi. We were like, we have videos on our channel about how we cook the food, why we chose to go with that, how often we're eating it, everything. We have all types of stuff about that. And we were like really heavy onto the health in terms of what we were putting in our bodies. We weren't really going to the gym as much. We were doing a little bit, but not a lot. But I bring that up because I'm just thinking like there was a time that Melissa and I got super sick. Like, I mean, I wouldn't say super sick, but I remember I had a headache that was so crazy that I couldn't sleep. Like, and I've never had a headache like that I can remember. I was sleeping and my head hurt so much. Like, nah, I just can't. Like, I can't sleep. Like, it was pounding me, and I was like, that sounded crazy. And I was laying in the bed, and my head was just like killing me. I don't think I went to work. I think it was so bad I couldn't go to work. I just laid in the bed all day. And then Melissa had got sick, and she had like the runs, stomach. I think, were you throwing up?
I think so.
I think she was throwing. Everything was going crazy, right? And I'm just thinking now afterwards, like, I wonder if she had, the virus. The reason I say that is because my whole ideology when it comes to, or what we learned back then, when it comes to sicknesses, I think it's better to deal with whatever happens through the sickness, and you'll be better off when you come out of it. And I don't know if we even had it or not. We never got checked for antibodies, but I wouldn't be surprised if we did. And I don't think that us taking medicine would have necessarily made it better. During that time, we drank water, we had tea, burdock root tea, shout out to Dr.Sebi, and we were just eating, chickpeas and this food that we was all made in the house. It was like, that was it, right? So I always wonder, like, did that make it? Because honestly, another thing too, when we both got sick, it lasted like a short time. I feel like, how long do you remember your last, do you think?
Maybe like a week.
It was a week. I feel like it was shorter than that. But okay, I feel like mine was like 2 days. Like, I had a headache for like a crazy headache, maybe 2 or 3 days, and then it was like more or less gone.
I don't really remember.
Cause I'm like, I remember for you.
It's like 2-3 years ago now. It's like
it wasn't that long ago.
Not 3, but like it's like 2. I was working at Amazon last year. At this time.
What time is this? Sort of. We just stopped working. I just stopped working. In like November. So
I started working at Amazon.
When I stopped working, I don't think so. I don't think you were working. I don't think you were working after I stopped working. I think you stopped working first because you didn't want to work there, and I was still working. Then I stopped working. That's what I told you. Like, if you don't have to work, I'm gonna just work, and then because you told me you don't like working at Amazon.
Whenever we started the wholesale, is I think around the time that I stopped working at Amazon.
Yeah, that was like I say like October, November. Okay. But either way, so like I said, around that time is when you got sick. So I just wonder if us deciding to just thug it out kind of helped us better overall with our health. And I think because in that time period we were actually eating healthier food, it was a lot better. 'Cause I don't know what would happen now if we had caught something now and eating the way we are eating. I don't know if it would affect us negatively or really bad. I also don't know if we had caught it before. So one day I might check, possibly, but don't hold your breath on that. So another thing I want to bring up on the life update is the fact checker, right? A while ago I had said that one of the reasons that I have with the whole COVID thing was that if it was very dangerous and the people were dying from it, that there would be more deaths in the house, right? Like you would see more people just like out on the street dying because people weren't going to the hospital. I really believe that there's a lot of malpractice or a lot of misinformation about people who were going to the hospital. And I think that back last year, and probably even still now, a lot of things were done incorrectly, and that is why a lot of people died, because nobody knew what we were doing. They were just trying stuff. And in all honesty, I don't think it was an accident. I think a lot of it was on purpose. From what I've seen with my dad, I think a lot of people, from what I saw with the doctors and people who may know about medicine, or people who know somebody who was passed from COVID or who has it or whatever, it seemed like they were trying to overload the immune system. That's what it seemed like to me. It seemed like they were just giving him things, my dad in his case, that would his immune system would have to just fight. So it'd be fighting this drug and then that drug and then this drug, and it's fighting this drug and this drug, and then it's like, damn, I can't even fight everything else. And then when I remember, they were giving him like Ensure for food. So it's not even, he's not really getting real food to help him fight it. So it's like, okay, we're gonna give him trash food, and then we gonna overload him with antibiotics and this drug and this new drug and that new drug. And at that point, it's like, okay, if he could have fought COVID before, he definitely can't do it now because his body is fighting everything else. What's that thing called, the white blood cell, when they start shooting everything, the rainstorm or something, a tornado? Like the last form of defense, at the cytokine storm. That's what it's called. Mm-hmm. A cytokine storm is when your white blood cells go crazy and start shooting everybody. They don't know who's what. They just start blowing up everything because they feel like, damn, we're in so much danger. Maybe if we just blow up everything around us, we'll be fine. So it's like a nuclear bomb in a sense, but depending on how long it lasts is what has a negative impact on you. It can be helpful for you because it will just destroy everything that's around it and boom, you're fine. But if it goes on for too long, then it will definitely negatively affect the rest of your body. And that's what happened with my dad. Like I said, it's crazy, but I'm not gonna get too deep into that. We have a video on it, or videos when we was going through it last year on the podcast, so y'all could look at that. And then the reason I brought that up is because I had said that I don't see any information about anybody talking about people not just dying in their house. Like, I feel like people go to the hospital and then die there. Like, I think if there was a serious disease that was killing people, you would just see bodies in houses all the time. So I had said that to my mom, and then she sent me a fact checker, right? Like a website that's fact checker or whatever. And it said that, oh, this is a lie or a myth people are saying, right? So I'm like, okay, this is my first time even hearing from anybody that this even happens, that this is a fake myth. I've never even heard that from anybody on the news or nothing, right? But now, over the last couple of weeks, I've been seeing a lot of fact checker signatures or marks or whatever on situations that I strongly believe are very true. And I feel like there's a concerted effort to use fact checker to disprove things that goes against the narrative that's being told. That's what I've been seeing. Like, so use fact check at your own will. I now look at it skeptically, or with a skeptic eye. Okay, and the last thing too, while left update, I had watched a video recently about the metaverse versus like Nvidia's version of the metaverse, and this goes to a deeper point where I really feel like people are trying to play God, right? I feel like that's what's happening with a lot of the medicine that we have, with the food that we have now, with the metaverse, and even a lot of like equipment that we use, like cameras and things like that. I really feel like, okay, it's gonna be deep for y'all. I don't know if a lot of y'all, here we go. All right. I personally feel like people have the ability to communicate with each other without the internet. I think that is a natural ability that people have had at some point. And I think that somebody stepped in between that and said, okay, I know y'all can do that, but I'm going to recreate it myself, disassociate y'all from it, and then give it back to y'all and tell you that I made that thing. That's what my theory is. So I really believe that we have the ability at some point to communicate with each other without actually speaking. So I personally also feel like Western culture it has a place, or even people have a place. I think they should be helping other people, helping mankind, or like assisting. What I mean by that is, I don't think that medicine should be chemically trying to change viruses or change your anatomy or change anything about you. I think that medicine should be able to assist your immune system in fighting something. So for example, we have Tylenol, right? A lot of people probably know this, others probably don't. Tylenol does not solve or does not cure the pain that you have, okay? All it does is it blocks the signal from going to your brain that you're feeling pain. That's all it does. And I think that's playing God. I think that what we should have, I think surgery, like if like a cast, your arm is broken, right? You get a cast, you put it back in place, and then you let your body grow it back to where it's supposed to be. I don't think we should be having bionic arm. Like, I don't think we should be trying to do the internals of it, right? So the reason I bring that up is because of the metaverse versus the Nvidia video that I watched like a week or two ago. I think us being in the metaverse is similar to someone trying to play God. They're trying to create people. They're trying to create a universe. Like, I don't think that's the best way to go. The other video I saw was more so like we would be able to interact with the world through technology. So let's say I'm walking down the street. I'll be able to look at Melissa and say, okay, her name is Melissa. Or, you know, she's 5'6", 5'8", whatever the case might be. Something like that. That's what theirs are similar to. You might look at a car. It'll tell you the car's going 45 miles an hour. You should get out the way. Things like that. I think those are what humans should be doing and building for each other. Things that can help us to make ourselves better. Like increase us. Like make our own powers better. I don't think we should be trying to create new powers for us, if that makes sense. So I really don't agree with that model. And as far as the idea for like the Nvidia, I don't know what it's called, omniverse or whatever. I think something similar to social media. So think of it like this: the same way that people will put on their social media, I'm a he, she, her, him. I went to Potsdam. I'm 5'8". I went to this college or this school or this job. That would be what you would see when you walk down the street. So I wouldn't actually have to go on my phone to see it. I would in some way be able to see it on you with augmented reality. So I prefer augmented reality as opposed to virtual reality. So I'm walking, I go, oh shit, Melissa went to St. John's and she went to X, Y, and Z. Okay. But she would be the person who can change that or put that on her profile. Same way you have with social media. It'd be something like that. And then through talking to them, you kind of get through it and whatever else the case might be. But that's what I prefer. I definitely think that this episode playback, by the way, I'm still working on my less contractions. I think when I get excited, I definitely speak faster and I use more contractions, but it is something that I'm working on. In the last episode, I feel like I used them a little bit too much. So I am definitely trying to get that down. I actually had a funny comment, which I thought was really funny. I'm gonna read it to y'all. Oh, AMGGT. He said, "You literally talk about nothing, LOL, but your voice is very catchy." Now I find that funny, right? Because I feel like I have so much more improvement to make on my voice, like speaking, the contractions, my tone, my speed, just kind of the storyline of how I've started the story and ended and what I put in the middle of it. So I think it's funny for him to say that it's very catchy, because I'm like, I need to definitely still work on a lot of that stuff. But in terms of what I was at before last year, I always think it's like completely better. Like, it's like, wow, I'm speaking completely different than I was. My pacing is a lot better for sure. Now, the one thing, it was two things I kind of want to readdress from last week, because I don't feel like I explained it well enough. When I was talking about knowing the things you can't do, I think I kept saying things you can't not do, or things you can do, something like that. It was more sort of an idea of how to approach things that you don't think you're good at, or how to know what you're not good at. There are certain things that I feel like people go, I can do that, like I can do whatever that thing is, but I think it's more important to look at what your body gravitates towards you not doing. Like, what would be easier for you to do? That's the best way to look at it. What is easier for you to do, not what you can or can't do. Because for some people, I remember I watched a video of this girl, and she was saying that, I feel like it might have been Bronny. Was it Bronny? Maybe it was. It might not have been her. I don't think it was her. They were saying that it's very, very hard for them to go to bed with the dishes still in the sink. Like, she was like mad at her boyfriend, her husband. Like, I can't believe, like, we would come in the house and we would fight, like, oh my God, the dish is still in the sink, we're going to bed, this is crazy. So she had to get to a point where she was like, okay, it is not the end of the world for the dishes to be in the sink until the morning. Like, we can wash them in the morning, we're not gonna die. But she felt like she grew up like that, so that's what she felt the most. Now, for me, you're not gonna hear me argue about putting dishes in the sink at night. Like, I'm not gonna be like, yo, I can't leave these dishes out, it's impossible, like, we have to. That's not the hill I'm gonna die on. So I think that in terms of knowing what you are good at and not good at, or what you can and can't do, is ask yourself, what is easier for you to do? Is it easier for you to clean something, or is it easier for you not to clean something, right? I think that's a good way to look at it. There's another example I remember of that. Right. So the things that you say you can do, right, but they're not something that comes easy to you, I think those are the things you should work on, especially in a relationship. So think about if you have, I remember I had a friend and he got into like an argument with his girl. We would talk about this, right? She was annoyed with him because she had a light bulb that was in the ceiling that I think had went out, right? He's probably like 6'5", and he knew the light bulb was out. I asked him, like, bro, did you know the light bulb was out? He's like, yeah, I knew it was out. So I'm like, why didn't you change it? You're 6'5". Just get the other light bulb and put it in. Like, it's been out for a while. Change it. So they had gotten into an argument about it because she was like, why would you not just change the light bulb? You know, his whole thing was, I was going to do it, whatever, I was going to get to it. You know, I can change it, or whatever the case was, right? So situations like that, I would have to ask myself, okay, is it easy for me to change this light bulb, or is it easy for me to just walk out the house and not change the light bulb? Okay? Once you answer that question, now you know where you stand. So when your significant other tells you that you never do a thing, you can use it as a barometer. You never change the light bulbs. Ask yourself, is that something that's easy for me to do, or something that's not easy for me to do? Because now, when she comes to him in that situation, right? If he's approaching everything that he feels is not easy for him to do, and he's doing those things that are not easy for him, I guarantee he will have a better relationship with his significant other. In this case, it'd be, you know, his woman, if he is doing the things that he feels like are not easy for him to do. Now I'm gonna give an example of myself in a situation. For For me, one of the things that's easy for me to do is if my beautiful girlfriend comes to me and asks me to do something that I'm already about to do, right? It is very easy for me to go, oh, okay, I'm not doing it now. Like, now I don't want to do it. I was about to do it, but now that you asked me to do it, I'm not going to do it, right? It's hard for me to go, I don't even know what I would say. I don't even know how to see my whole body. It's just, I don't even know what I would say. If I'm going to do something, she sees me going to do it, she asks me to do it, what's my response? Do I just go, you know what? The perfect response, you know what it is? I got you right now. The perfect response would be to go, okay, babe, I got you, right? Even though I was already going to do that thing, that would be the best response, because a not good response in that situation would be, yeah, babe, I was going to do that right now anyways. Like, I was heading over to do it. I got it, right? Another not good response would probably be to just sit down, which I do sometimes, right? So that is something that I think for myself, knowing what is easier for me and not easier for me, and then knowing how it applies to my relationship. So that's something for episode playback. And the last thing for that episode playback is TikTok again. I was pretty much saying last week that if you try to squeeze out every inch of attention you can, you're going to do that. If you are trying to get people to burn out, that's what's going to happen. So you will grow the fastest because people are posting the most, but you will also fail the fastest because people are posting the most. People are posting the most, they're watching the most, they're going to get tired. Like, they're going to get tired. And in all honesty, what happened to Vine? How did Vine die? Do you remember?
I wasn't really on Vine like that.
Me neither. I don't really remember why Vine died, but Vine was popping, right? Now, it's probably a lot easier to burn out on TikTok than it is on YouTube. Like, YouTube, you can make one video a week. Like, do you know TikTok people that make a video a week and like do well?
Not really, but it's not something I've looked for. I don't really know.
Cause I'm like, I don't really know people on TikTok to be like, all right, I'm just gonna make one video this week. You gonna watch my video every Sunday. I make one video for a minute. It's like, you probably won't do that. You probably won't make that video. So I really believe, I don't know when, but I think that TikTok is the last frontier of this version of social media that we have. I think they took mining attention to its extreme, and they will pay for that. I believe that's my theory. So now on to Donivan's question. Earlier this week, right? We was watching Mod the Gods video, right? You know what's crazy? So he put up, I meant to show you this too. So he put up the video with Clarence, and it has 100,000 views, right? And he posted that on his page. It had 100,000 views. So most of the videos now get like 20, well, I don't even know, 15 to 30 if it's a good one. That one has 100,000. In the video he posted, it had the average watch time for the channel. Like, you know, like when you take, right? It tells you the range on the bottom. Okay. So his average range, but he blocked out the one for that video, but it still had the bottom, what the range was. The range for the video that he posted. Now, how long is videos normally to you? Like, how long are they normally? 10 minutes, right? So the average range for his videos is 1 minute to 3 minutes.
Oh, that's kind of high.
You think that's high? I think that's really bad.
I thought it was going to be less.
Less than 1 minute?
Yes.
Melissa, 1 minute?
That's what I thought.
Bruh, let me see. Because I'm like, and honestly, I don't think he posts videos for 10 minutes. That's the other part. I think his videos are normally like 30 minutes, 25 minutes. Like,
are you sure?
Yeah. Let me go take his last 10 videos.
I don't think so.
So his last video was 32 minutes, 27 minutes, 17, 42, 32.
Are you serious?
38, 27, 17, 15.
We probably make it through 10 minutes.
Bruh. And I'm like, bruh, ain't no really 10-minute videos on here. He has some, but they're not frequent like that.
I think the videos that I would mostly watch were like his cooking videos and stuff.
And he hasn't put that up really in a while. But, and those are 18 minutes.
The cooking ones?
18 minutes right here. This one, Cooking with Mod, is 18 minutes and 54 seconds.
Sheesh.
So, yeah, I thought that was crazy. I'm like, a minute? I'm like, you know what has a minute on our videos? The videos that are 3 minutes long. Those have a 1 minute average view duration. Like, that's crazy. So, either way. He did put up a video with like a prank video where he was calling people and saying that he was in jail again. So he was calling some like random people. They weren't like his first line, I would say. So after watching the video, it made me think, if I went to jail today, right? I was thinking, who would I call? Like, who would I call to get me out of jail, right? I had my obvious people, right? But then we went a step further. We went 2 steps further, right? Because he called like an ex of his. And I was like, which one of my exes could I call to give me $1,000 to bail out? And I was just like, it really made me think. Because for one, I don't really have a lot of ex-girlfriends, right? And then that made me think like, I don't really have a lot of ex-girlfriends. That's kind of crazy. And then I thought, okay, the girls that were not my ex-girlfriend, would they give me $1,000 if I got locked up in jail? And I had to think. I was like, I don't know if they would. I don't know if the girls I talked to would give me $1,000 if I got locked up in jail. And that made me think, damn, what kind of person am I? What kind of person was I that if I got locked up in jail, my ex girls I used to talk to would not give me $1,000, right? Now, here's why I asked that question. The reason I asked that question is because I had a friend, and he would nurture his relationship with his ex, what do they call them, girlfriends, friends, things like that, women he had talked to. Now, me personally, I always was just thinking to myself, why am I talking to this girl, right? The reason I would always say that is this. I know from experience, if I try to talk to an ex while I have a girlfriend, they are going to try to subtly or subconsciously shit on my girlfriend during conversations. It happens all the time. They just be making comments and little remarks, especially if me and that other girl had sex. They absolutely, your girlfriend, I never thought you would date a girl like that. Like, I never really saw you with a girl that, stays at home. I thought you'd be with a girl, likes to go outside. Things like that. Oh, she don't cook? What? How you end up with a girl that don't cook? I thought you love girls that cook. Little comments like that, right? And you could be listening, you be like, you serious? Like, when I was young, I didn't know. As I got older, I was like, you dead ass. That's what you're doing right now. So it's whatever. So I decided that I was not going to nurture these relationships. I'm like, why would I try and keep this person around knowing they're going to do that? But it made me think, because he could probably call up a lot of women that he talked to, and they could probably give him $1,000 because they have a relationship afterwards. They keep talking, so on and so forth. I don't have that. So Melissa and I had this conversation, and like I said, there was 2 questions that came up. I also thought about this one, right? Now ask yourself this question. This is where the question, you go, wait, what a second, what? Here you go. So these 2 questions. The first one was, what ex would give you $1,000 if you needed it to get bailed out of jail? Okay. Also remember, they have to be able to afford the bail as well as part of it. Now the second question was this: who could call you right now to, if you have the money? Here's the scenario: you have the money to bail them out of jail. Who would you go? Nah, bro, or sis, I'm not giving that to you. It's not gonna happen, right? So I'm gonna tell you my people that I have in my.
You gonna say it?
Absolutely, 100%. I want them to know. Don't ever call me if you in jail. I don't care. There's 3 people in my mind. Right now, funny enough, I actually heard a video today about getting the hate off your heart, and I honestly didn't even know that I dislike these people. I don't even want to say I dislike them. I just really don't like how they went about certain situations, and because of that, I don't care what happens to you. That's how I feel. I don't actively hate these people, but I'm not actively gonna help you either. So 3 people, right? One person borrowed money from me during the basketball tournament 2 years ago, right? And I'm like, you owe me money still. I'm not gonna give you money to get out of jail, so I don't have to tell you, bro, you staying in jail, right? Now, we're not even that close, but I'm just saying that's a person I'm like, if you owe me money, I remember, and you're not paying it, I'm not gonna give you more money. You in jail. That is what it is. Now, second person is my roommate, right? I was talking to a girl, and he wanted to talk to her, right? So he started shitting on me to her, right? She wanted to talk to me. I think I left the school. They were like kind of talking, and then I came back in the picture, and she wanted to talk to me and not him. So she ended up telling me that he was shitting on me to her. Now, that to me is foul. Now, why is that foul? Because that is going out of your way to hurt me. I have a problem with that. Like, if somebody accidentally hurts me, fine, whatever. But I feel like if you are purposefully trying to slander me to prevent me from getting something, like, it's not about how you feel about something. It's like, hey, I am going to slander you because I don't want you to have something. That's wild to me, right? Now, the third person, in my opinion, could be buried under the jail. Like, I could not care at all what happens to this person. Now, I'm gonna tell you what happened in this story. Very short story. When I was in college, I got into an issue with my girlfriend at the time. The police got involved, and I needed a witness to testify, or not really testify because it wasn't like a court case, but I needed them to at least tell the school what happened, right? So this person was the friend of my girlfriend at the time. So I called her and I said, hey, you were at the thing. Can you tell X, Y, and Z, or whoever, the police or whatever, that is not what happened? So she said that she don't want to get involved in it. And I said, I understand. Like, I understand you don't want to get involved. That's your friend. By all means, I think that's foul. I think it's foul because I'm about to go to jail. But okay, fine. This is where my problem came in. Her boyfriend called me, and he said to me, mind you, me and him was cool. Like, we wasn't best friends, but we was cool, chilling in a room, going to play basketball, hitting each other up. Yo, where you going? Ahead, cool. He called me and told me, don't call my girlfriend and ask for help because she's scared. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, bro, I'm talking like, yo, fam, like, you could talk to her for me. Like, I could go to jail. He was like, bro, I hear you. I hear you, right? But just don't, like, talk to her about it. Now, mind you, I am close enough with her. Like I said, she was like a best friend with my girlfriend. So for him to say that to me, as if I was in some way intimidating her, and then to disregard the fact that I could go to jail for something I did not do, that person could be buried under the jail. You call me for $1,000, I might laugh. I might just be like, well, damn, that's crazy, bro. I don't know what to tell you. I wish you the best in there, my guy, and I hope that at some point you do something else. So that's what I realized. And I think I asked Melissa this question, and you said you don't know who you would not bail out of jail.
Who I would not bail out of jail?
Yeah, who could call you right now? Oh, we did. There's one person. We're not gonna say a name, but there was that one situation that we talked about.
Okay.
There was that one person, or those 2 people.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the other question, is anybody else other than that?
That I would not bail out. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay. And then what? Oh, that's the other question too. So, what ex would you give $1,000 to bail out of jail?
Would I give 1,000? What ex? I give $1,000 to bail out. When you say ex, like, what you mean?
Somebody that was in the cheeks.
In the cheeks.
In the cheeks. In the cheeks. Who Who could call you right now and be like, I need 1,000.
I need 1,000
to get out of jail. And if they skip bail, you gotta pay the price that they skip bail on.
What did they do?
See, you asked too many questions.
What did they do?
They got caught selling 10 pounds of cocaine.
If I have it, probably any of them.
Oh, really? Okay. I think I feel the same way. I don't really have an ex I wouldn't bail out. But the ones that would bail me out, I think there are probably like a couple of girls I talked to that would still like hold me down. That would be like, all right, I got you. Like, I think there's one, like, I know one in particular, from the Bronx. That's one. Two from the Bronx.
Don't say it. Why you gotta say where they from?
Cause I want them to know I'm talking about them without saying their name. Like, I'm not.
Why you want them to know who you?
In case I go to jail, I gotta call them. I need them to know that I'm talking about them. Hey, if I go to jail, I'm calling y'all. So I said there's one I talked to. So I think that's it. But I just think it's interesting. It puts in perspective like what kind of person you are with your exes. Like, would they feel comfortable or want to give you $1,000 to bail you out? So that's that. Now, on to the topics of the day. All right. Now, this is a topic we've been on the list for a while now. Also, this is a side note before I get to that topic. I would pay for social media, and I personally think we might get to that point. Like, I think the amount of ads we have are crazy. I think going on Instagram and I'm in my story and I see 2 or 3 ads before the next story is wild. Like, it used to be no ads in the story, then it was 1, now it's 2, you're gonna see 3. It's ridiculous. It's ads everywhere, right? Then everybody complains like, oh my god, the reason why it's free. No, who complains? Yeah, the reason why they think they would make more money by charging for our data as opposed to charging us. I don't really know if that's true or not. Like, I'm not sure. However, I don't think it's crazy for people to pay for social media now. Like, I think I can see that happening. Like, I would pay $10 a month for like a certain kind of social media where I can post what I want, people post what they want. I'm in a certain class. Like, okay, I know that, like, if you want to post porn, I could just block you. If you want to post some, dead animals, I could be like, yo, I don't want to see that shit. But I also know that if I post something, the social media platform will not just demote my content because they don't like it. I would pay for that. Like, I would honestly pay like maybe $25 a month. Like, if it was the equivalent size of like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and I knew I could just post and they would just show my content based on whoever likes it, like, I would definitely utilize that. Right, so there's topics of the day. I don't know if I brought this up before on the podcast, but this has been a common conversation that we've been having over the last 3 weeks or so, maybe 4 weeks at this point, about the roles in relationships. And I know a lot of the women audience is going to go into, they might pass out hearing this, and I don't know how the men are going to react. They're probably going to say yes. Honestly, after a conversation I had recently, I realized all men may not say yes to this, but that is another option. So here's how I look at it. Y'all ready for this? I think that men should lead 100% of the time, right? I think it should be 100-0. I do not think the woman should lead. Now, okay, that comment is for women, all right? I think that the woman should let her man lead 100% of the time. There is no 50-50. It's not 60-40. It's not 70-30. It's not 90-10. It's 100-0, right? Now, here's the reason why I say that. 'Cause I know a lot of people heard that and go, what? Oh, you're bugging. Oh my God. Right? All of that. I know y'all sitting in the car or driving around, walking, whatever y'all doing. You're at work, whatever. right? Probably going, this is crazy. I believe that, I'm gonna bring it back around. I always do this. That's my job. That's how I start make my living. So I believe that the woman should follow the man 100%, or let him lead 100%. And good men or good leaders always consult with the people that they are leading on decisions that they make. Not on every decision, but they do want to make sure that anybody that is following them is going to be safe. These are good leaders, right? So this is where the basis starts, is a shift in how the perspective is seen from the women's end. Okay, now here's why this becomes a problem. During a conversation that we've had, or I had recently with one of Melissa's friends, she feels like it should be 80-20. I had a conversation with one of my family members recently. They also feel like it should not be 100-0. I had a conversation with another woman the other day. I believe she even said 50-50, right? Now, here is why I strongly disagree, right? The friend that said 80-20 feels like, I'm gonna give y'all the example of when this came up when we were on the phone. They were driving home one day, and she's driving and the man's in the passenger seat, which for men who run game already know this could be an issue. Y'all know the deal. So the man says, hey babe, get off the highway, you know, it's the exit. Not, I know the GPS say go that way, the exit don't work no more, just get off here, right? So she has a problem with that. She don't want to listen to what he's saying, right? She feels like, I'm driving the car, you in the passenger seat, I'm the leader now, this is my ship, okay? I'm the captain now. That's how she feels. So now they get into like a little bickering match about this, right? Because she feels like, well, if I'm driving, don't tell me what to do. A common trend that I've seen is that good men, and honestly, I would say the majority of men that I've seen, I mean, not say that because I you know, I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna bring it back because I know I'm gonna bring it back.
You're doing too much.
Because the men that are hearing this will go, of course, like why not, right? Obviously, we make decisions that are the best for both of us. That is how we are, I believe, wired to think, right? That's why I think we look at things. We don't like to deal with unnecessary confrontation. It's unnecessary because we know what could come from that. However, girls like to, and I think it's interesting that we just had this conversation recently, girls like to micromanage. Would you agree with that?
Why are you talking to me?
Okay, so that's what I have noticed, that girls prefer to micromanage. So they want to go, are we going to get the potato chips? Okay, he says, sure, I don't care. Okay, well, you know you don't like potato chips, but the ones in the red bag you like, and the green ones, just get the ones in the green bag. But last time I got the ones in the green bag, you said you didn't. Guys hate this. Guys hate all of that. We hate that in its entirety. For the most part, we just want to be chilling and relaxing. That's what we want for the most part, right? So if us as a guy says, hey, don't do that thing, or go and do that thing, trust me when I say that it is probably in y'all, for the majority of the time, it's gonna be in y'all best interest. And if it's a good dude, it's 100% in your best interest. And good leaders will go and say, if they don't know about a certain topic, they will then ask their woman or whoever they're talking to, whoever they're leading on the team, hey, you're better at math than me. What do you think about the situation? You're better at science. What do you think about the situation? So during the conversation that they had, they were bickering back and forth. She said that it should be 80-20. And I said it should be 100-0. The reason why I think the baseline should be 100-0 is this. Once you think it's 80-20, you have an entitlement to feeling like you should be the leader, right? You go, well, it's 80-20. I have 20% of the leadership. Well, I should be able to lead too. However, the problem is this. There's no scoreboard. Nobody is keeping track of 80-20. So who knows if you're doing 80-20 or not? Nobody knows. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. We don't know. We have no idea. And if we being honest, it's probably less, or they're probably doing more than 20%. And they're probably trying to make decisions about things more than 20% of the time. Why? Because girls get bothered by a lot of things throughout the day. So they are always trying to make sure that they are the most comfortable in every situation, regardless of if the man is comfortable or not. This is what I've seen as a common trend. This is what they try to do because they want to feel comfortable. However, men look at it like this. I want me and my girl to feel comfortable. And if she's uncomfortable, there's a reason why she has to be uncomfortable for the situation. The reason why I think, or I say it should be 100-0 should be the baseline. If your man say jump, you should be saying how high. That's how I feel about it. The reason why I say that is not because I think your man should be trying to embarrass you. And a lot of women that I've talked to, or the majority of women I've talked to, I think all of them, every single time I say it should be 100-0, almost every single girl or woman that I've talked to has said, what happens if he tell me jump off a cliff? What if he tell me drive off a bridge? What if he say to do this crazy thing, right? And I'm like, one, if you're dating a guy and this guy is telling you to do things that are purposefully gonna harm you, one, you shouldn't be with him. Two, there are things leading up to that lets you know what kind of person he is. I believe if you are going to date somebody, if you do not tell yourself from Jump Street as a woman, I am going to give him 100% of what he wants. If you don't feel comfortable saying that, you should not, as a woman, be dating that person. If you don't feel like you can say, you know what, I'm gonna give him everything I have. If he needs, I have $1 million, I'm giving him $1 million. I'm giving him my house. I'm giving him my car. I'm giving him everything I have. I'm not gonna do nothing. I'm gonna let him lead. The reason why I say that is because the majority of men are going to go, yeah, look, I don't need to have your $1 million. I don't need the car. I don't even want the house. Like, I don't need that. I don't need any of those things. That's how men are going to act. Especially good men. Like, good men are 100% going to do that. Like, I cannot see no good man get into a relationship with a woman and her going, you're my man. I support you. I'm going to transfer all my money from my account to your account right now and you manage it. He's going to go, what? You don't got to do that. Just keep it. Don't do that. Let's keep it there. If we needed to do something, I'll let you know. She goes, you know what? I'm going to give you my car because you're the man and I support whatever you want me to do. This car is yours now. He's going to go, babe, you don't have to do that. Like, you don't have to give me your car. That's what's going to happen. And I'm talking about, that's a good man that's going to do that. The average man probably going to do the same thing. Like, the average man will probably do that same exact thing.
I have faith in that.
And that's the problem. This is the problem, right? Women always say, well, how do I know he's going to do that, right?
Yeah, men be messing around with less. Be just
who?
Men.
But here's the question: how many women go? How many women do you think have started a relationship with a guy and said, "I'm gonna give you all of my money, everything I have, and you make a decision with it"? How many women do you think do that?
Do you think that? Okay. Probably not a lot.
Probably not a lot.
That's crazy.
Why is it crazy? You don't trust your man?
Nah, probably not.
See?
At the beginning.
Then you shouldn't be with them.
We building.
Then what you mean building? Do you trust me or you don't trust me? What are we doing here? So we could talk, but here's the thing: we could talk, but until we, I guess, decide to be a relationship, I'll do whatever I want to do. You don't gotta trust me. Like, what am I doing? Right? So make sure I got this right. You don't have to submit to me as a man if you don't want to, if we're not dating, right? By all means. that dude, before you submit to him, should have the qualities that make you want to go, okay, I'm gonna give you 100% of me completely.
And what do we get when we do that?
You get a man that's going to lead you and support you. That's what you get. What you want as a woman. Everything you want as a woman, you will get that.
It sound like
a what?
It sound like how they lead you to the gas chambers.
That's what I'm saying. Every time I have this conversation, and I don't even think I think it's black women personally. I don't know if every other. I said before, I don't know if other women are like this or closer to that, because I think that in other cultures it's more understandable for them to see, or more recognizable for them to see, a woman who is more in that framework.
In other cultures they beat your ass and it's nothing. They like, when I say it's nothing, like it's widely accepted. Like it's okay. Like what? She spoke out of turn, slap, slap, slap. Push, like, that's not, So
okay, so let me ask you this. Do you think that there are more women getting beat like that? Or there are, like, do you think it's 60% of the women are getting beat by their man? And here's the thing. Before you even answer that, right? Before you answer that question, I don't think that women are absolved from getting hit if they are doing ridiculous shit. If they are trying to antagonize you, then I'm not gonna do it.
So you don't think that there's people that would take advantage of that?
Of course there are.
Okay, then that's what I'm saying.
But
so, as a woman, you have to look out for it.
Yes.
So it's gonna be hard to put yourself at even a greater disadvantage than you're already at in that type of situation.
Okay, so here's your solution as a woman. Would you can go into a relationship and saying, because think about this. You're saying that you're going to a relationship thinking my man's probably going to beat me if I give him the leading role. That's who you want to marry? I don't think so. If that's your thought process going into dating somebody, you probably shouldn't date them. Like, I wouldn't date a girl going, yeah, she probably going to rob me. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, this girl's going to rob me, but I'm going to just, we gonna go hang out. I'm going to leave my wallet by her. I'm going to just leave it here. 'Cause even though I'm pretty sure she's going to rob me, this is who I want to hang out with. You wouldn't do that. So why are people dating those kind of people? Now, let's say you go into a relationship with a guy, right? Y'all start dating. He has all the great qualities that you want as a woman.
And then he changes.
And then he changes on you, right? Another fear factor moment. Leave.
But if at that point you already got a house together, you already got kids, the bank accounts is joint. You just, how you leaving? How you like, it's not that easy to leave at that point.
Is he taking everything from you? Because like I said, I mean, and this is another thing too. Another thing.
The money that he was taking care of because he was leading.
I think if you are with another person as a woman, you should leave when you feel like you don't want to give that person 100%. That's what I feel like. If you're like, okay, today he took my money, all right, let him go. Tomorrow he took my house, okay, let him go. He took my car. As you have the free will or the authority to say, I'm going to leave. Because I believe it's going to get worse. I think there are signs. I personally think there are signs all the time to seeing these things. That's what I think. I think there are always signs to seeing who's going to be an abuser before it happens.
What would those signs be?
Him hitting you before y'all date.
What if he never hit you up until...
I don't think that happens.
I feel like I've heard that.
That he just be one day just strike you out of nowhere?
After you're married, yeah.
I mean, hey, it probably has happened. I don't think that a guy who never hits women dates you for years and years and years and then decides now that you're married, he's going to punch you in the face. And here's the other thing too. I also do not think that women give 100% to their man. The only examples we have are Tyler Perry movies. We don't have no real world.
What you mean? A real world what?
Examples of women going. I mean, I'm not say 100, but women going. I'm going to completely give myself to this man.
What does that mean?
Whatever that means. The mindset of having that. Whatever that means.
I've only ever seen that play out negatively.
Where? On TV.
Yeah.
And movies and shows.
Yep.
That's the problem. So an example of what I have on here as a note, there was a video that came out recently, or that we saw recently, of a woman who was washing her man's feet at the wedding, right? Now, I showed this to one of my family members, and they were like, I would never do this. Why would I do that? That's so degrading, and why would I have to wash my man's feet? Why would he make me do that? Why would he make me do that, right? Now, this is the problem. If your original baseline was whatever my man wants, I'm gonna give him, that would not be a problem. Also, a lot of people felt like she should not be washing his feet. The man was crying in the video. The man was in tears, right? Because men who have a woman who supports them like that, all they want to do is give back to that woman. That's all they want to do every time. But women are afraid to do that. Now, there are multiple reasons. I think personally, a lot of the media is the reason why women feel like if I trust my man 100%, he gonna fuck me up, he gonna beat me, he gonna cheat on me, he gonna steal all my stuff. But that don't really happen. I don't know of that happening that often in real life.
You know what women watch?
What?
Lifetime.
Yes.
And you know what Lifetime is?
All of that. All of that.
Consistently, on repeat.
On repeat. Every time. You love your man, he gonna fuck you up.
Mind you, that's something that like I grew up seeing.
Yes.
I live in a household with other women. My dad would watch it too. So it's just like, so you watch it and it's like, oh shit, okay, this is why you don't.
Right? This is why you don't trust your man.
Yes.
Now, think about how crazy that is. Earlier, Melissa and I had this conversation about black women, which we've talked about this before. Listen, I love you and you black, so.
That's you sound like.
Listen, I have a black girlfriend, Melissa. I have a black girlfriend, okay? My cat is black. Okay. So this is a problem, and I don't want to call it conspiracy theory. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. Y'all can decide for yourself if it is. This will be the last part of the podcast. Now, I believe that there was a concerted effort to make black women very successful, right? Now, some people may hear that and go, what's wrong with that? When a woman becomes very successful, it seems as though they now want men that are better than them, right? They're very independent. They have their own education. They have a job, a good paying job. They have a car, a house. They travel, speak 4 languages, right? And you're like, wow, she's amazing. She's an amazing person, right? So now she gets a man, right? She gets an average man, not a man who did any of those things. It's a regular average dude, right? It's very unlikely that this woman will give everything she has to this man, right? Very unlikely. It's very unlikely that she will let him lead because she has a better degree. She makes more money. She's traveled more. She has spoke different languages, has her own place, has a car, right? So she's a very independent woman. She feels like, I'm not going to let you lead. You don't have any of these things. Well, I'll let you lead, right? Now, the balance is out of order. Because he naturally, in the relationship, wants to lead. It's his natural instinct. Her natural instinct is not to want to lead. It's to want to follow her man who is leading, right? But now, we have a situation where she has so much credentials that she is now put in a place where she's put in a place above a lot of men. So now the pool becomes a lot smaller, right? Now here's where I have it's a dilemma. Is the solution to this for women to not get jobs, better jobs, not go to better schools, not make more money, not fend for themselves, have a house and a car? I'm not saying that's the solution. I'm saying that if you want to have a successful relationship, I don't think that's how you get there. Unless you will be okay with saying, I have all of these things, and I will. What comes first is what my man says. So if he says I need $1 million and I have $1 million, I'm giving it to him. If he says I need a car, I'm giving him the car, because he is still going to lead. The problem I think happens is once women get those things, they no longer feel like they have to now follow a man that has less than them, which again is perfectly fine. You are entitled to do whatever you want. But what comes with that is the fact that men are going to be less likely to desire you as their significant other, right? You have all the qualities that a woman would want in her man, not that a man would want in her woman. So earlier, right, I'm gonna end up on this. Two things happened between me and Melissa. We had a conversation. She asked me, I don't know if she asked me. I think she might have said to me, would I want a girl that has no education and nothing else, dumb, whatever the case might be, right? But she does whatever I say, right? And I think I might escalate it and say, okay, if he was a crackhead on the street. Now I thought about it and here's the problem. This is the problem. As a guy, right? There's a crackhead on the street. She's an attractive crackhead, right? And I know without a shadow of a doubt that she's going to do 100% of what I tell her. Would I rather date her or a woman that I know I'm going to have to bicker and fight with because she has more than I do? She's successful, right? She has a Harvard degree. She has a great job. She has a car. She has a house. She's traveled. Speaks 5 languages. There's her, but whenever I make a decision, she's bickering with me about it. Oh, why you want to do it like that? Why you didn't do it like this? Why you should do it that way, right? Every time we have a decision. On the other hand, right, there is a woman who's on crack, on drugs, right? Attractive though, on drugs, and she says, if you tell me to stop doing drugs, I'll stop doing drugs. You tell me to go get a job, I'll get a job. You tell me I need to go and apply here, I'll do that. Which, as a guy, y'all can answer this. Which person do you want? Here's the problem for me. I had to think about it. That's the issue, right? Now, you would think that would be a clean cut. I'm not dating no crackhead. But the fact that you know that she is going to do what you told her to do, you're like, this is fine with me, right? So here's why I flipped it onto Melissa. I told Melissa, I said, listen, you have a guy, right? He makes $75,000 a year. You don't have to go to work, right? You're happy in a relationship. You love him. He loves you. He supports you. You have 2 kids, a house. You're driving a Tesla on a $75,000 a year salary. And what else was it? The bills are paid. And I think you have like $500 a month left over to kind of like save and whatnot, right? You have all of those things. That's what you have. You can stay at home. You don't have to go to work. Well, you're not going to work. You're not going to college, nothing like that. You have that on that one side. You have a man that loves you. You have kids and a house and so on. On the other side, this is what you could be this person. You could be a woman who has a Yale degree, traveled to every single country, right? Has a great job, pays well, has a nice house and a nice car, right? But you can only have sex with men. Like, you cannot be in a relationship. You cannot have no kids. All you have to do is have sex. All you can do is have sex with them. They don't want to cuddle with you. They don't want to build with you. All they want to do is fuck you. Which one would you rather take? Right? Now, for a woman, she's like, she got to think about that, right? Now, the reason why I think it's interesting is because the fact that becomes a thought you have to think about. On one end, you have all the things that people tell you as a woman you should want to be. Independent, you can travel, you have money, everything else. On the other side, you have none of those things, but you have a man that loves you and supports you and you happy. Which one do you want to go with? And that's why I leave it off at, because I think the natural instinct for a woman is to go, Listen, I'll stay at home for $75,000, not go to school, live with my man. I'm happy. We have kids and a house and a car. Like, I'm fine with that. Right now, you know, I think maybe 75 to 100, whatever. But I said 75 at the time. I think you'd be fine with that. I don't think women want to be the other person that's just having sex to have sex. Now, I think that men would be much better off. Not much better off. They would feel a lot better than a woman in that situation. If I told you a guy, I said, listen, bro, you can fuck all the women you want. You have a great job, a great house. You have a great education. That decision would be that hard for them. They'd be like, yeah, I'll take the fucking the women thing. Like, that's fine. I can do that. As opposed to having my women pay for everything I have. A guy would immediately jump at the option to go, no, I would rather do the other thing than have my woman pay for everything in the house. I got to stay at home. She pays for all the stuff. So it's up to y'all to decide what y'all think. Right, so I'm gonna end it off on that note. We will be back here next, hopefully Tuesday. You can find all the behind the scenes content on my social media. Mine is Donivan Gray, DONIVANGRAY, and you have my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend, Anita Byrne, ANETABURN. You know what it is. Hashtag Bamboo Project 2021. We going up all year. You know the vibes. And with that being said, Bamboo Project out.